So hello guys, welcome or welcome back to the KP show. We are back after a short break and we are going to be talking about India's T20 cricket and the first two T20Is between India and England in the ongoing series. So Indian T20 team and Indian Test team has had quite a contrast of fortunes over the last few months, while the Test team has struggled to keep the momentum going and to bring in some good wins right after the Bangladesh tour, the second game of the Bangladesh tour where we just smashed them out of nowhere. It's been quite a struggle for the Test team, to put it lightly. On the contrary, the T20I team, the Indian T20I team, has been creating history. You see guys like Tilak Verma, you see guys like an Abhishek Sharma, Sanju Samson. He's finally kind of, getting into the groove in international cricket and getting those runs that we know him for. And our bowlers, Arshdeep Singh, he became the leading wicket taker for us in T20I cricket. Rinku Singh has been a consistent performer, although, yes, the last, I would say, 6, 7 months hasn't been that great for him. But again, he's a quality player. We all know about how good he is. To talk about Hardik Pandya, of course, he's a phenomenal all rounder. Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar coming in from reserve, doing all that great stuff. I mean, the T20I team is a sight to behold. 3, 4 years ago, I used to dream about this, in all of my group chats, all my discussions with friends, wherever we talk about cricket, whenever we used to talk about T20I, it always used to pain me because we had IPL, the premier T20 tournament in the world, of course, after the T20 World Cup, and we produced so many great talents year on year, but somehow, some way, that never got translated, to the international stage. But I think this one change happened after the 2022 T20 World Cup debacle, after which KL Rahul was not involved in the T20 setup. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma took a break, which allowed a lot of these young guys like Yashasvi Jaiswal to step up. It allowed Shubman Gill, although Shubman Gill, there could be a lot of debate about the way he plays and approaches T20 cricket, but that's okay. The thing is, it allowed, it allowed a setup for the youngsters to come in and showcase their skill set, which wasn't happening earlier. And India adopted a nothing to lose approach under Hardik Pandya. Yes, we did lose a West Indies series. I think we lost it 2-3, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, these things happen, the change that Indian cricket got into the T20I setup doesn't happen overnight. It's a long process. And yeah, the ball was kept on rolling, I think, right after that debacle of a World Cup in Australia, where we lost the semi final to England by 10 wickets. I think an extension of what happened after that also helped us win the T20 World Cup last year in 2024 under Rohit Sharma. You know, in that tournament as well, the very first game, if you see against Pakistan, we were like bowled out for a meager 120. We still won the game. But what was interesting for me in that game and in that World Cup in particular was our approach. We weren't looking to, bog down and get to safe scores. We were looking for that aggressive gameplay. Yeah, the final was a different story. But even then, it was not like holding game from both sides. There were shots played from one side at least. So the point being, Indian T20 cricket was lacking that firepower, and the IPL that happened last year with the impact player rule and everything, teams started scoring what 250s, 260s, 280s, and that kind of, I would say, unlocked the potential in Indian cricket, and I think in a way that set a bar which people could think that okay, if we are good enough and if we play with the right intent and if we play with the right players with the right skill set, then we can definitely aim for 300, and it made that possibility very real. And what happened in the T20I series against Bangladesh, we got that 297. Unfortunate that we couldn't get 300, but again, that opened the floodgates. And what the team did in South Africa, I think that was a very exceptional performance, and that is something that I used to dream about, that India would definitely do this someday. And thankfully, all of my dreams, all of my aspirations with regards to T20I cricket for India is finally coming into the fore. And it is definitely helped by the fact that Gautam Gambhir is a very aggressive coach, and Sky, being a very stable guy, kind of brings about that balance. And Sky is the one guy, I would say, who was a revolutionary in T20I cricket. So you start from his debut in 2021 against England, where he hooked Jofra Archer for a six of his very first ball in international cricket. I think that was a statement that India has a lot of potential in T20I cricket. I think that was the first instance that the next generation is coming up. The new way of playing T20 cricket is there in Indian cricket, and it just needed to be taken to the fore. So I think that's what has happened. And now, yeah, finally, talking about the ongoing series, I think we'll start with the first T20I first. So going into the game, it felt like India played one spinner too many, because considering the history at Eden, of course, Eden Gardens had this history that initially it was a very slow surface with three spinners during the GG era. I think 2016-17, three spinners chokehold, and you put the opposition down for 140, 150, that kind of a score. From there, I think after Saurav Ganguly became the head of CAB, the Bengal Cricket Association, uh, he relayed those surfaces, and he made them, help fast bowling. So again, it turned into a high scoring venue. Again, in between, once we saw that it turned into the black soil. So there was a lot of, possibilities going into Eden Gardens at how the surface would play. And I think almost everybody would have thought that India, played one spinner less. But credit to Gautam Gambhir and Sky for reading that surface better than everybody. And they took the right call. At the end of the day, it's the result that shows. And it wasn't that bad of a pitch, though, as much as England made it look like. I think if you break down England's innings, I think Arshdeep bowled a brilliant opening spell to get rid of Ben Duckett and Phil Salt. Phil Salt again fell to the wicket. I think the ball just stuck in there and it slowed down. Not, I wouldn't say the surface was the reason why England lost the first game, but it was more like it was a slow surface, but runs could have still been scored. Some of the shots that England batters played was there could be a lot of criticism that they could have done better. Maybe, maybe not. But I think that's how the way they play, and it's natural. It's very natural, the things that happen for them. I think they would always look to play aggressive, and that's how T20I cricket should be played. And sometimes it won't work off. It just won't pay off sometimes, and that's what happened with England in the first game. So in the power play, they got 46 runs, but they lost two wickets, which was a decent score on that venue. You could have done a lot on that. And right after the power play, Akshar was taken down for 15 in his first over. Harry Brook and Josh Butler were looking like they were going to take the game away from India. But at that point, the turning point of the game happened with Varun Chakravarti getting rid of both Harry Brook and Livingstone. Livingstone was dismissed for a duck in that game. And from there on, it triggered a slippery slope from which England could never recover. I think England's inadequacies against spin was very much exposed. The middle order struggled a lot. Jacob Bethel, Gus Atkinson, Jamie Overton were all dismissed very cheaply. Varun Chakravarti then got rid of Josh Butler to ensure that England doesn't stand a chance to putting up a huge score. And finally, they ended up getting 132. With only 132 to defend, it was like all dependent on Archer. Archer bowled a fiery opening spell where he kind of tested Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson with a new ball, and that was kind of like the only ray of hope for England at that point, because the other bowlers were all bowling a very good pace, 140, 150 kind of a pace. But that wicket needed a lot. It required a different skill set. It required your spinners to do the damage. But I think Jofra did well. He got rid of both Sanju Samson and Sky. But on the other side, the pressure was not, capitalized, which happened in India's case. That on other side also the bowling was good. So Gus Atkinson considered 22 in his first over, which kind of gave the momentum back to India. And India finished 5 overs with at 45 for two. But the sixth over of the power play in the first game, that is what the new India is. You just lost a wicket, but you aren't going to get bogged down. And instead, they smashed Mark Wood for 18 runs, putting the pressure back on England. So, and India finished the power play, meaning 6 overs, at 63 for two. So by the time Rashid came on to bowl Adil Rashid, there was not much left in the game. So as I mentioned, on that wicket you needed spinners to do bulk of the damage. But by the time Rashid came on to bowl, there was nothing to bowl at. So already 63 runs were done, 70 were left. India finished off the formalities in quick fashion. Abhishek Sharma got 79 of 34, and it was a crucial innings for Abhishek Sharma as well. So, like I said, this new India, the aggressive approach is always appreciated, but it had been a while since Sharma had got some very good runs, which kind of puts pressure on the batter. So his 79 was crucial for him to get back into form and stamp his authority. So now you have a very healthy competition between Yashasvi Jaiswal, Abhishek Sharma, and Sanju Samson at the top for the opening slot. Then you have Sky or Tilak Verma at number three, or number three and four respectively. Then you have Pandya, you have Rinku, you have so many other guys. You have Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar, you have Nitish Kumar Reddy sitting out. I mean, it's a packed batting lineup, and this team has a lot of options. Get into what happened in the second game. So going into the second game, India had two forced changes. Nitish Kumar Reddy was unavailable due to side strain, and Rinku Singh was unavailable due to back. So in the second game also, India won the toss, and we decided to bowl first. And in Chennai, typically you have two kinds of wickets. One is the black soil wicket where the ball turns and it keeps slow, and it's difficult to bat there. It assists spin very much. And on the second surface, you have this red soil wicket, which is good for scoring. So we got the black soil wicket, and if we thought we had one spinner too many in the first game, we got another extra spinner. This time Washington Sundar came in for Nitish Kumar Reddy, providing another additional spin bowling option for India. And I think spin chokehold was the order of the day, and that's what happened. India expected Dew to come in, but it didn't come in. I think that's why India opted to bowl first on this wicket. And England made two changes to their 11. They got in Jamie Smith for Jacob Bethel, and they got Bryden Cars for Gus Atkinson. And both looked inspired changes because they played a crucial role for them in this game. We'll talk about them as it happens. So, firstly, Arshdeep got rid of Phil Salt in the first over itself. Again, poor from Phil Salt. Ben Duckett went out cheaply to Washington Sundar, but England recovered well. They got 58 for 2 after the power play. It looked like, once again, similar to the first game, it looked like England are building well. They are going to do something. Harry Brook and Josh Butler getting in that decent partnership. Then came the spin choke hold. In the next 4 overs, they got only 20 runs and they lost Harry Brook. Again, Harry Brook complained about smog in Kolkata. He might have had a fair point. It doesn't matter, but he couldn't pick Varun's googly and was again bowled out. And then Butler lost his wicket to Akshar Patel. I think Butler was looking for that aggressive option. He was trying to hit it, but he was caught at deep mid wicket. And England were down to 78 for 4 in 10 overs. At that point, it looked like England would be done and dusted. But here came in the two inspired changes that we talked about earlier. Jamie Smith got 22 of 12 before he was dismissed by Abhishek Sharma. Bryden Cars looked good for his 31 of 17, and he even smashed two sixes in Varun Chakravarti's final over. He was run out. After that, Adil Rashid, Mark Wood, and Jofra Archer combined together to get 27 runs. They propelled England to 165. So, looking at the surface on offer and the fact that there was no due, it looked like a defendable total, to be very honest. But I had a feeling that it was a defendable total, but England didn't had the enough resources to bowl on that wicket. They needed one extra spinner, which they lacked. It was all on Adil Rashid's shoulders. So that is where England missed a trick. Maybe Rihan Ahmed here would have helped England's causes, but I don't know. I felt that they don't trust him enough, and they went in with their quicker bowlers. So what happened during the run chase was, so in the very first over, Abhishek Sharma gunned down Jofra Archer and he got him away for three boundaries. Then Wood in the next over skidded one at 148 clicks to get rid of Abhishek. That was fairly quick. Then again, Sanju Samson was outdone by Jofra Archer's extra pace. Jofra was expensive. He considered 24 in his first two overs, but he got rid of Sanju. He continued to test Tilak Verma with the short ball. Kept on peppering him with the short ball, but Tilak was up to the challenge. He used the pace very well, smashing sixes. One, I think, over the top of fine leg, and one he edged top edged one over the keeper for a six. And he hammered him for 17 runs in his third over. So Jofra was quite expensive last night, and that kind of didn't help England. Sky played a timid shot. He was bowled over by Bryden Cars, and it left India 59 for three right after the power play. If you look at the both the innings, I think it was on similar course. England 58 for two, India 59 for three after the power play. That one extra wicket. The chase looked comfortable because the India needed only 106 runs from here in 14 overs with seven wickets in hand, and yeah, but at this point, England strung together a few economical overs. They conceded only 20 runs in the next four overs and picked up two wickets. And again, this was exactly the same that had happened to England in their batting innings. But the fact is, India had lost just that one extra wicket. And the score at the end of 10 overs was 79 for 5 for India. England was 78 for 4. Now, with Pandya gone and Tilak and Washington Sundar at the crease, and only Akshar Patel to follow, England at this point had a very good chance of winning this game. But they bowled Adil Rashid bowled a three-run over in the 11th over. But after that, two poor overs, one from Mark Wood and one from Jamie Overton. It cost them 31 runs, and it swung the pendulum back in India's favor. After that, Kars picked up his third wicket in the form of Washington Sundar. Akshar played a loose shot of Liam Livingston, which almost handed the game to England. I think that was a very good setup by George Butler. He tempted Akshar Patel by using Livingston, and it cost him his wicket. So that was a good deal for England. So at that point, after Akshar Patel's dismissal, it was five overs, only 40 runs to get, but India had only one set batter. That was the problem, and it was Tilak Verma. Now, England at this point they went with their most trustworthy bowler, of course, being Jofra Archer, and he bowled well. He managed to get a top edge of Tilak Verma, but it went for a six. Unfortunate for him. The second ball of the over, it went for a six over deep backward point. I think for me that was the shot of the game that Tilak Verma played. That was phenomenal. And in the second last ball of the over, as you say, the fortune favors the brave. Arshdeep underedged one for a boundary, and a total of 19 runs were secured in that over. And I think that completely kind of killed the game, but there was more drama to come with less than run a ball required, 21 of 24 to be precise. It was supposed to be a cakewalk, but much like what happened with Akshar, this time Arshdeep fell into the trap and he holed out. After that, again, the pressure was on, but it was Tilak Verma who was absolutely clutch, and he was ably supported by Ravi Bishnoi, who got that crucial boundary off of Lam Livingston in the second last over. And then Tilak Verma, of course, finished off the game with a boundary that helped India seal the game. So it was a phenomenal win for India, and I think the the telling part of this series and the one that makes me the most happy was, so after the first innings, as I mentioned, for me, I felt like England didn't had the bowling reserves, to clinch this game after scoring just 165. I felt England did really well. They outdone themselves and they performed much better than what I had expected, at least. I could be wrong. Maybe my analysis wasn't right, but I felt England did much better than what I expected. So I thought to myself, okay, let's give India a challenge. Let's see how well India does. And I thought India might try to chase this down in, let's say, 16, 17 overs, at max 18, not more than that. That was the kind of internal challenge that I had in my mind. What I was, of course, that did not happen. But what happened actually, made me feel happy is that India was attempting to do that. And you could see the shots. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, trying to finish off these games early. And that's the kind of mindset which is required for India to do well in T20 cricket. So the intent was there. Yes, there could be a lot of arguments about the shots, and people won't be wrong when they say that, okay, you have a target in hand. Why are you trying to do something extra and just play out the overs? Just play according to the situation. Just play whatever is there on the target. But guys, I would say that is something that we had been doing over the years, and it didn't give us too many results. The one time that we got results in 2024 World Cup, that was when we went with the over aggressive mindset. Yes, you need a few clutch players who can play that holding role. And I think for me particularly, Hardik Pandya and Rinku Singh, those are the guys who play at that 6-7 kind of positions, 5-6-7 kind of positions, who can do that. And definitely, you need that kind of gameplay in the team. But what I am against is, like, you don't start saving your wicket right from the start. You know, let's say for example, a Tilak Verma. Tilak Verma is a clutch player, and he has that ability to switch gears, to play in both the ways. So if you need a 20 ball 40, Tilak Verma can do that. If you need a 45 ball, let's say 55 or 60, Tilak Verma has the ability to do that, and it's quite rare. You have Hardik Pandya who can do that. You have Rinku Singh who can do that. You have Akshar Patel who can do that. You have so many of these players who can do that. But what I am happy about is the first instinct for these guys is to come in and smoke the ball. If there are three or more wickets down, let's say in the power play, that point of time you need that clutch game. And that point of time you can switch the gear back to, one or two. That's something that I was very happy to see. That our first instinct is always to go for the runs, and I think that is what will bring us success in T20 cricket, especially. What you don't want is to put that label on Tilak Verma that he has to, play a crucial role. He has to stabilize the innings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you wouldn't want India to be at 15 for 2 in 3 overs, and Tilak Verma to just, having forced being forced to play a defensive knock and getting us to 36 for 2 in the power play. I would much rather prefer Tilak Verma to just go for it, to play his natural game. Of course, you have to treat the ball with merit. It's not like you go out blind slogging. Definitely, that's not going to help. But you have to play the ball on its merit, and if it's there to hit, just go for the hit. I wouldn't mind having 50 for 3 from 15 for 2 in 3 overs to 50 for 3 at the end of the power play. So I think that's the mindset which has to be cultivated, and I think that's what is happening with the Indian T20I team right now. I think that's something that makes me really happy. And for England, the next three games are in Rajkot, Pune, and Mumbai. I think those conditions will suit them a lot more compared to, let's say, what they got in Chennai or Kolkata for that matter. So I think it's going to be a very good series, and I think the point that we were talking about, that India had one spinner too many, I think that's going to be rectified in the upcoming games. We are definitely going to see one extra pacer come in for one of the spinners. So that's that. Hoping for a very competitive series going forward. Rajkot, Pune, Mumbai, all three of them potentially high scoring venues. So it will be interesting to see. So we'll be back after the 30-20 I. So up until then, see you in the next video. Ciao.